You won't believe this one chart. It goes against everything you've heard about our local real estate market. Hi, I'm John Whelan, otherwise known as Mr. Downtown Delray. Thanks for coming back to my How's the Delray Beach Real Estate Market Update for October 2025. I have three ideas again. Number one, active listings continue to crash. Number two, months of supply is knocking on a new seller's market door. And number three, the time it takes to sell a property continues to go up. Let's dive right in, taking a look at the new active listings chart. As you can see in this one, active listings peaked back in April of this year, but since then it's been a 5 consecutive month fall from 2,200 down to 1,800-ish. That's a 380 unit drop in just 5 months, or 17.5%. But here's the thing, a lot of consumers still have a bias towards the 22 market. Yeah, that just 3 years ago when things were completely different, when it was going from a seller's market into a buyer's market. And guess what? With the falling supply, we're starting to knock on the door of another new seller's market as we go into the high season in South Florida. Guess what? We're going out with the old and coming into something new. So I got 2 words for you. It's time for you to say bye-bye. Second thing to talk about is the month of supply. But last month I talked about expired listings and how those were playing a big part in what's happening in the overall market. If you missed that, the link is up there. You can watch that video later. But for now, let's take a look at the months of supply chart. As you can see, it peaked back in April, also at 8 months. And as the overall active listing supply has fallen since then, so has months of supply. In fact, it's down 25% over the last 5 to 6 months and is again knocking on the seller's market door. What does that mean? Anything under 6 months of supply is a seller's market. So guess what? Are we entering a new seller's market again? Well, as we continue to see supply falling, we could see seller confidence shift as we get closer to 2026. We've had a year so far of just price drop, price drop, price drop, but now as supply is falling, less options for buyers, sellers could start to firm up their pricing, and as we go into the high selling season, we might even see prices start to rise again, start early 2026. I've been talking to agent colleagues all around Palm Beach County for the last month, and as we start the fourth quarter right now, everyone's saying the same thing. There's a massive uptick in demand happening right now. Our websites are getting more inquiries than we've seen in the last 90 to 120 days. Our phones are ringing. Demand is up, and we're starting to already see a shift as we enter the high selling season. Before I talk about the third thing, if you like this information, find it useful, and if you're a data geek like me, down below is a link to my free weekly e-letter. For the last 6 years, I've been writing about all things Delray Beach. It comes out every Wednesday morning. If you want to be copied on that and get information quicker, down below, get the link, free of charge. The third data point I want to talk about is days on market. I haven't talked about days on market in months, but there's a long-term trend that you've got to take a look at. So look at this chart. As you can see here, back in June of 2023, it only took 23 days for properties on average to sell. That's back when there were multiple offers on things and just it was a whole different market. Since then, it's been an uphill slog for the last almost 2.5 years. It's gone from 23 days and it's gone up and up and up. And now as of this month, it's at 70 days. So it's taking 2.5 months almost to sell property, where just a few years ago, it was taking like a third of that time. So we have days on market at the highest it's been in years, which is good for buyers. We have months of supply and active listings falling like crazy. That's good for who? Sellers. So right now it feels like we're in an MMA match and no one is taking the other party down. Right now we're in a situation where neither side of the real estate market is taking control. It's just going to take a little more time to sort through the data. I couldn't just leave you with 3 pieces of data point. I have a fourth one. This is what I call the big board. Let's take a look at this. Pull it up. This is all about Greater Delray Beach and the median price sold. This is the second month where actual monthly figures are in negative territory for September this year versus September last year. You can see median prices down 2.2%. And on a year-over-year basis, it's the first time in 2025 we've seen negative comparison as well, down 2.8%. But now look below at the collective days on market and average days on market. You can see they're both up. One on the right is up 24%, the other is up 27%. It's just taking a lot longer to sell property in today's local real estate market. Earlier, I told you I had a chart that is going to shock you. It's going to blow your mind. Let's have a look at it. This is the last 3 years median sold price for Greater Delray Beach. As you can see, overall in this chart, prices have hovered between $300,000 and $400,000 range. And back in November 2022 on the left, it was $394,000. Today on the right, it's $399,000. A difference of what? Nothing, $5,000. So in essence, prices over the last 3 years in Delray Beach have not moved for 3 years. They've flatlined. Tell that to your friends at the next cocktail party and watch their eyes roll as if you're nuts. So if you're thinking about selling, you need to look at the data with a fine-tooth comb. Get with your agent and look at the specific market information for your neighborhood. If you think you're just going to sell it higher today than it was 3 years ago, I just showed you the chart. Prices haven't moved in that period, so think long and hard about that. If you're a buyer, don't be the person that's going to talk to me in December of this year saying, "Damn, I wish you would have told me the best time to buy was back in July, August of this year when there was less demand, when mortgage rates were coming down, and when supply was still in orbit." All this is data that you've got to take in consideration right this second to make good buying decisions. And guess what? I'll be back in a month from now to give you more information to help you make good buying and selling decisions. See you then.